Oh, I hope we are live now.
Okay.
Let's
Says everyone can see
double
and hear
check.
you. So I'm in the
Can
show.
everybody see me? Can everybody hear me? Post a comment. Let's see if it shows up.
Okay.
And let's see if I can. Oh,
Can I blur my background? I don't know if I can blur my background here because I'm still got some of my daughters sitting back there.
you know what? That's a good question too. I'm gonna take a minute and I can touch up my appearance. Let's try it.
Uh-oh. How do you do that?
Ooh, I look photoshopped. I'm doing that. Mirror my camera. I don't know if I need to do that. Virtual background.
Is that under
Change
settings?
screen feature is a bit more.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the same thing.
Okay.
Let's see what happens to me. See if I get better. It couldn't get worse.
yeah, no, mine works. We can do blur. I can do fake. Oh, some rich people's house. You can do a
Wow.
rich people's house. Let's see if I can upload a background.
Here's virtual backgrounds. Okay. Uh,
if there's anybody at all in the chat, please say hello and tell us to stop being experimental on air and wasting your precious valuable time.
I hear a baby, but I don't know where it's coming from. It's not coming from the computer. It's somewhere outside there. Either that or it's a cat. I don't know. But there's no cats outside here.
There are none of those things.
If there were any cats outside, they would be in my house because any cat outside ends up in my house.
Okay, can I do this as a background?
Oh, good. I got my Hubert Humphrey neck. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. We're good to go.
Yeah, that just makes me look like a borrower. I'm not going to do that.
Oh, with the books?
Yeah, it's just too small.
You
And
look
that
like an
makes
attorney.
me
I didn't know
look.
you were an attorney.
Whoa, I forget it. I'm not even. Yeah, I'm definitely an attorney at law. You want to trust me with all of your legal issues.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no, don't do that. Okay, so I just wanted to double check that we are. Am I live? Is Ariel? Am I live?
He just sent something.
Somebody. Oh, people are commenting. Oh, okay. Get with the interview. They. Oh, okay, great. We are live. No, I feel awkward. Okay, sorry guys. Hello and welcome to Millennial Splaining, Barry. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Why don't we start out with a little introduction and tell us what you're running for. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started with the Greens.
Okay. My name's Barry Bendar, and this year I've decided to challenge the incumbent who's been in Congress, excuse me, for over 40 years and run for Congress in New Jersey, Congressional District 4. People need another choice. He's been in for over 40 years, extremely conservative.
What's his
Um,
name?
his name is Chris Smith,
Okay.
and um, he represents New Jersey's Congressional District 4. But
Mhm.
to let you know, when his children were growing up, they got in-state tuition in Virginia. So it tells you a lot about where he spends his time. Anyway,
Okay.
um, but I joined the Green Party on election day, and that wasn't such a good day, 2016. But that's when I signed the party declaration and became a Green. I was independent for a couple of years before that. And prior to that, I was the um, municipal chair for the Blue Party here in Lacey Township in Ocean County for 10 years. 10 years. Yeah. And
So you were a blue to green in
I went blue
2016.
to green. You got it. You
In
got it.
2016. Very
Absolutely.
nice. So
Yeah.
what? So tell me about what drew you to the Green Party then.
Um, Well, I looked at the different stances, the different the pillars and the 10. I don't remember all the terminologies, but it's where I am. 99% of what the Green Party stands for is what I stand for, and I said to myself, well, why shouldn't I just be working in that direction instead of, bucking the system where I was? And I bucked for a while and got nowhere, and I said, I'm tired of banging my head against the wall. Let's go somewhere where people think the same way that I think, and move on and make the best of what we can with what we have.
Hmm.
Yep.
Excellent. I agree. I agree. That's, partially my journey as well. To the Greens is that you just get fed up with the duopoly. You just get fed up with getting stuck,
And
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 it's
even beyond the
frustrating.
duopoly, where I live in Ocean County, it's extremely red. Um, and I found out not long before I left the particular party that the county chairman, um, for the party that I belong to, reported to the Republican chairman. So basically, he
Mm.
took his orders. So it's really in Ocean County, it's a one party system. Uh, the
Yeah.
the the party that I belong to, they get no money for their campaigns, and basically whatever the boss, um, of the other party says, the the chairman of the party I belong to just follows suit and does exactly the same thing. So
Mm.
it was a total waste of time. Total waste of time.
Yeah, that's really scary, and it's scary how true that is in so many places, especially on local level.
Yeah.
That it's just there's just really no daylight between the two parties.
No, and New Jersey, without a doubt. New Jersey, without a doubt. It's
Yeah.
it's one big happy family. Um, so,
So tell me a little bit more about your history with activism. I mean, you always seem to have a protest going on. You always seem to be a part of a committee. Or tell me a little bit about your millions
well,
of
I
side projects.
yeah, part of some of the organizations I belong to is, I got involved. Oh my goodness, 2009, I guess, or earlier, 2008, seven, with Relay for Life. That's the American Cancer Society, and we raise funds for cancer research and cancer programs. And I mean, we've done as well. This last 2 years was kind of like a new team, so we haven't done as well. But there were a couple of years where we came close to raising $100,000 to donate to the American Cancer Society. I've done other work. I belong to another organization that's American Cancer Society, ACS CAN, which is the lobbying arm of the American Cancer Society. But this year they're going to have to substitute somebody else for me when we go to Washington, D.C. and talk to our elected officials, because I'm running against the elected official that I'm supposed to talk to. So I don't think that's going to go real well. So they got to come up with another person to make the trip to DC this year. So yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about the position that you're running for, because I everybody is always confused, right? When you say like the House of Representatives in New Jersey versus the House of Representatives, federally speaking, like
Well, in New Jersey,
what
it's
happens
called
there?
the Assembly. Yeah, New Jersey, it's called the Assembly. It's New Jersey Assembly and New Jersey State Senate. What gets confusing is the Senate side. Assembly is you have two assembly people in every legislative district, and there's 40 legislative districts in New Jersey, and then you have one senator in each one. But congressional district, we only have 12 congressional districts. I sent a note. I guess we haven't brought up, but the Green 13 is what we're going for this year. As I mentioned, there's 12 congressional districts here in New Jersey, and we plan on having a Green Party candidate in each of the 12 congressional districts, plus our senatorial candidate, Christina Khalil. So that makes the Green 13, and we got to get our petition signatures, but we're well on our way, and we're going to have a Green 13. That's the goal. I have one district that I'm still in flux a little bit, but we're going to get that straightened out. I actually did a little bit of work to get that straight today. Hopefully I get a positive answer, not a negative answer. Otherwise we got to start looking again for that particular district. But
Okay.
the Green 13 is going to be a reality. And what we're
Excellent.
doing by by running the Green 13 is we're giving the people another choice other than duopoly, because as you mentioned, they're so close together, especially here in New Jersey, that you're basically voting for the same thing, no matter which way you vote, in a sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, tell me why the Green 13 is important. Why is it so important to have a whole ballot line?
To give people a choice, and also we are going to get attention because the mainstream media tends to ignore us. We've had issues in the past where we were told, "Oh yeah, we're going to invite you to this debate," and yeah, no problem, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I know I use that word a lot, so I'll try not to use it too much. I was told by a friend of mine. It's a mutual friend. Okay, but they tell us one thing, and then when it comes time for debates and various other things, we're left out of the picture. And I think the more the people hear and see what the Green Party's about and what we stand for, you're going to see a lot more people voting for Green Party candidates. A big part of that would be getting ranked choice voting here in the state of New Jersey. I work with another organization, you were asking about that, called Voter Choice New Jersey. And we are in the process of trying to get ranked choice voting implemented here in New Jersey. We're starting at the municipal and Board of Ed level with our first go round so that people get used to it. And then we're going to work our way up. But with ranked choice voting, it's democracy on steroids. Let's put it that way, as compared to how people vote now. And we're making progress. We've got what's called a trigger ordinance in Hoboken. And recently we got a trigger ordinance in Jersey City, which we're debating is either the second or the largest city now in New Jersey. And we're spreading out all over the state and trying to get these trigger ordinances to influence the people in Trenton to pass two bills that will allow municipalities to use ranked choice voting. Right now, you can only use plurality, which, for instance, with plurality voting in this last election, the mayor of Kearney was elected with 37% plurality, which meant,
Yeah.
which meant 63% of the people didn't choose that person to be their mayor. So
Right.
that would fix that. Ranked choice voting fixes that. That's a big deal. That's a
That
big
is a
deal.
huge deal. That is a huge deal. That is a huge, I mean, when you hear statistics like, the 75% of policies do not reflect American popular opinion,
Right.
I mean, that's how come, right? It's because
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
our voting system is kind of rigged.
You bet. I was going to use the word rig. You beat me to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. So let's go back to the Green 13 for a second. And full disclosure, I am working on the Green 13 and helping out,
Yeah.
also with Christina Mirkhalil's campaign.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's important to note that the reason it is easy to vote either Democrat or Republican is because they take up an entire ballot line.
Mhm.
And what is confusing is that usually, you have people one person over here on this part of the ballot, and then one person over here on this part of the ballot, right? And you don't know who's in what party, and it sometimes says independent, sometimes it says
Well,
sometimes it says
well,
green, sometimes it doesn't,
no,
right?
what happens usually is either the Republicans or the Democrat get a line. I know in Ocean County, get a line straight down. And
Mm-hmm.
the next of the duopoly gets the next line, and then they stick us out. Depending on how many candidates we have, they stick us out somewhere to the right on the ballot. But what's important this year is that we will have a line that says Green Party. There'll be a presidential candidate, there'll be a senatorial candidate, and there'll be a congressional candidate in every single congressional district in New Jersey. So the Green Party will appear on every single ballot, and there'll be a line of candidates. So, for argument's sake, we just endorsed Jill Stein to be our candidate in New Jersey. And then we'll have Christina. And then in the fourth, you'll have me. And if there are people who want to join the Green Party and get their petitions in to run local or county or whatever, we'll all be on the line. The funny thing is this, with the way New Jersey is set up, and it's probably the worst state in the country for this, to get major party status, we have to run candidates in the assembly, not federal, the assembly race, and get 10% of the vote total across the entire state. And being a small party, that's extremely difficult. So for argument's sake, if the Red Sea parted again this year and our presidential candidate was elected and our senatorial candidate was elected and every one of our congressional candidates were elected, we still wouldn't be a major party in New Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah. It's talk about rigged. It's very, very rigged. It's very, very rigged. We need to
Wow.
return democracy to this country because it's not there now.
Absolutely. So, where is, that's a good question, I guess, to have is, where is the hope? Where is, like if the deck is stacked so high against the Green Party, why should anyone spend time, promoting it or working behind the scenes or right? I mean,
Well,
not that and I'm asking you to get a good answer. I'm not asking you
no,
because I
I'll
disagree,
give you
because
good
I'm clearly
answers.
Green Party is.
I'm going to give you a very good answer.
Please
Okay. I
do.
really, really, truly feel that this year, with the things that are going on in the world, okay, all the things going on in the world and going on in this country, this is the year the door is open for the Green Party. That's why we have to have candidates in every single district. We have to be out there spreading the word what the Green Party stands for. Okay. And I think you're going to have a lot of people come on board. I really have strong feelings that a couple of our congressional candidates have a real good shot at, and it's never happened in New Jersey. We've had Board of Ed people elected, and I think there was somebody elected to the assembly once. Actually, he didn't get elected as a Green. He switched to a Green, and then they voted him out the next time. But I really believe deep in here that we've got some people, and especially meeting all these people, seeing them at the convention this last weekend, we have a hell of a team. And I think there's some people there that got a really shot. They got a shot. Absolutely. And I could be one of them.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. And I absolutely agree that this is the time. This is
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah.
We are literally looking at a replay of 4 years ago, only, the tape has degraded over time. Like
Yeah.
we
And
are stuck in the past
yeah,
and we need
yeah.
to shake ourselves out. Yeah.
There's
Go
so
ahead.
much more. There's so much more turmoil in the world. I mean, and I say this, I'm working now to make things better, but who I'm really working for is people like you, the people who are coming behind me. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm going to be 67 in the near future. Okay.
You look a
But
lot younger than that.
now I owe you money. Now I owe you money.
Yes,
But
I knew I could get some money out of this. No, I'm kidding.
there you go. But I want a better place for the people that are coming behind me. I consider that I had growing up, that I had a pretty decent life, and there are people who haven't had a decent life the whole time, but it's getting worse and worse and worse. And we need to put the brakes on and start making things better for the people, not for the corporations. Okay. We need to make things better for the people. And that's who our government is supposed to represent. And I strongly feel that that's not who they represent at this point in time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have a question from the audience if you'd like to answer it.
Sure.
Alex Casper asks, really important question. Will you advocate to showcase the quality transit service that is Wildwood tram car so that all of our cities in our country will one day have one?
The tram car just runs on the boardwalk. It doesn't go around the whole town. And they have the little button they push that says, watch the tram car, please. Watch the tram car, please. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. It would be nice if they can get the tram car in Seaside Heights and in Point Pleasant and various boardwalks, but that's a boardwalk thing. Correct me if I'm thinking of the wrong thing, but that's what comes to mind when you say the Wildwood tram car. But I'll tell you about transportation. I live in Ocean County, okay? And if you're a senior who lives in Ocean County and you reach the point where they tell you can't drive anymore, unless you're in a senior community or you have someone working with you, you'll starve to death because mass transportation where I live is absolutely horrible, okay? It's pitiful.
Yeah.
If you have a car and you can drive to Tom's River and go to the bus station, yeah, you can get someplace. But if you're, in Lacey Township where I live and you don't have transportation, There's one bus that runs to Atlantic City and to Lakewood, and that's all that runs on Route 9 in Lacey Township. So
Yeah,
it's that's big time improvement that has to be made in this state because it's absolutely pitiful. It's
you're
pitiful.
absolutely right. And good
Yeah.
way to spin that too. Because Alex is now saying, "Please God, don't ask that." They were kidding, and I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. That's I love the tram car, but I
I
never
thought it
take
was
it because I like walking the boardwalk.
fun. I do too. Sometimes I get tired, though. You know what
Yeah, yeah.
I mean? Does the Green Party have anyone running against Josh Gottheimer?
You bet. My friend, here's his card right here. Forte is running
Yep.
against Josh Gottheimer, and he's been in court with Josh Gottheimer. He sent a note at one point to, I think, Gottheimer's Facebook or something, and Gottheimer actually took him to court for what he said, and it got thrown out of court. But that's what Gottheimer does. He's um, not good news. Let's put it that way. I won't use the words I was going to use, but uh, and to let you know, Bo is one of my favorites, and I'm thinking that he's one of the ones that has a real good chance of being our breakthrough green here in New Jersey. He's a tremendous candidate. Everything I can't say anything negative about Bo because he's just a great candidate. We're so lucky to have him this year. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. I agree.
we have a wonderful Senate kid. Christina Khalil is our Senate candidate, and she's on the ball with everything. She has tons and tons of energy, and she knows what's going on in the country, and she is also a wonderful candidate.
You know what? The one of the things I really like about the Green Party, and I feel like this reflects who a little bit. I felt at home when I started, with the Greens, and I
Hmm.
started with the Greens very recently. I started with the Greens only about like maybe a year ago,
Hmm.
and I really love the spirit where we're really we're like millennials are fed up, right, with all of the we're fed
Nonsense.
up with the options, and we
Yeah,
really would like to have a place where we can show off everything that we've learned over the 40 years of life that we've had now.
right,
And that we are, that we are ready to sort of make an impact. And I feel like the Green Party is one of the places where that's starting to happen.
right.
You're seeing millennial candidates, you're seeing Gen Z candidates. Shout out to John, who's in the audience right
Yeah,
now. He's a Gen
yeah,
Z candidate with the Green
yeah.
13. Shout out to Chibu, who is running in Illinois, and she's absolutely amazing. And shout out to Lily, who is running against Mikey Sherrill. So Lily Benavides is also
Mickey.
Mickey
That's a
Mikey
joke.
Mickey.
It's Mikey, but we're calling her Mickey.
Um, and shout out to Lily Benavides, who's in the chat as well, and
Hey,
hopefully will be
Lily.
on the show soon.
Yes.
Also one of our Green 13.
Yeah. 11. She's Congressional District 11. She needs to win there. She needs to
Yes,
win there.
yes.
Hmm.
Yes. And there was an excellent video recently. Everybody who was watching should go check her out on social media.
Yeah.
She just went to my one of Mikey Sherrill's fundraisers and broke it up. I mean, she was escorted out because she was yelling "Free Palestine," and that is absolutely the spirit we need to be having right now. We need to shut it down.
That's
So
everybody. Every candidate that's
absolutely,
number one. That's their number one.
yeah,
Killing
like
innocent women and children is not tolerable.
absolutely not,
Killing anyone actually is not tolerable.
absolutely not,
There needs to be the Green Party is the party of peace. Okay, let's sit down and talk and work things out. There's no reason to kill people because,
absolutely.
and I was thinking this driving today that some of those people that are being killed in Palestine could have been that person that came up with the cure for cancer, for all we know,
Absolutely.
right? And
Yes.
we're killing all these people. It's crazy. It's insane.
You are absolutely 100% right about that. It's really sickening. And I mean that's was one of the things that I was talking to I was helping a friend of mine, Pepper Oceana, run a fundraiser for a few families to escape Gaza. And these people were lawyers. These people were like major, professionals that just happened to lose everything because not only were their homes bombed and their jobs bombed, but the banks were bombed and the supermarkets were bombed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is literally an annihilation of an entire civilization, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
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 I mean, yeah.
Truth. Absolutely.
There's not much we can do about it by talking about how horrible it is, but
It's not acceptable, but what we can
yeah.
do is make noise that
Yes,
at one side of the mouth, the president says this is horrible, and in the other side of his mouth, he says, "Hey, send some more bombs over there." Okay,
absolutely.
not acceptable, not acceptable in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. And then on one side of his butt, he sends the fucking popo to take down Columbia students
There
and
you go.
Princeton students
There
and
you go.
anybody who tries to speak out for Palestine.
Right. Right.
Disgusting.
Yeah. No. No.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
On that note, have you been to Newark or Rutgers or any of the
I went to
campus?
Princeton with Lily. Gosh,
Yeah.
what day was that? I think that was that May 1st? I think it was May 1st, and we were visited with the students in the middle of the campus in Princeton. The two had already been arrested prior to that, but it was a moving experience. Hearing from the students and other people who were there. There was a woman I didn't catch her name, who's grew up in Gaza, and the story is heartbreaking. I mean, she said not only her brother was, I think he was 14 years old or something when they put him in jail,
Mm.
and they tortured him and made him sign something, and they sentenced him to 130 years in jail,
Oh
and the
my
only way
God.
he got out was through a hostage swap, and then he ended up being killed anyway.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
And that's why, they ask, oh, they're holding hostages. Well, the reason they hold hostages, okay, is because they use it to trade to get innocent people out who are being, put in prison with no rights whatsoever. They just throw them in prison. It's insane. It's absolutely, they call Israel democracy, but if they're doing that, they're not a democracy. That's for
no,
damn sure. Okay,
you're
needs to
absolutely
change.
right.
Needs to change.
You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sickening. Um, I lost track of my thoughts, but that's okay. Yeah, let's give
You want to
them
hear about the
kudos.
protest I was at today? It was local.
Oh
I had
yeah,
a
tell
local
me.
protest today. I live in Lacey Township, and
Uh-huh.
here in Lacey Township, they have a lovely developer who sits on the township committee, and he's made the decision that any property that this town owns on Route 9 or on our main drag, Lacey Road, needs to be sold for tax rateables. Well, on the piece of property at the corner of Route 9 and Lacey Road are two historic buildings, and they're in the process of selling that property. And in the thing, it says there are two buildings, but if you decide to knock them down, that's fine. So we have a house that was built in 1850 sitting on the property that could be knocked down. And we have a building that was actually willed to the town. And the words are to be kept for the use of the people of Forked River. Okay. And they're arguing that kept doesn't mean for eternity kept. And they moved the sign from the building to another building saying that's all we got to do. So now we can get rid of this. And it's in the
Mm.
guy's will. So we're working on seeing if we can get legal representation and fight that in court. But we're protesting every day out front on Route 9 saying, save the Warden House. It was built in 1850. It was moved once from another location to save it. And now they're talking about knocking it down.
Wow.
That's my friends. And it's very, very red Ocean County where I live. So
Mm. Mm.
people vote for letters instead of people here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well,
And
it's hard to cut through the noise, right? It's really hard to cut through, I mean, especially when you don't pay attention, particularly to local politics, and you're just driving by and you see a sign, you can't really even tell who's red or blue on the signs,
yeah.
by the road
Oh
signs,
no,
right?
no, no! Here in town, oh, there's a big elephant on the signs for those.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, they make it very, very clear. They make it very clear for sure. Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep,
Okay, very
yeah,
interesting.
Mine are
Maybe,
all my
I don't know,
signs are
maybe in
green.
my area that's different.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as you get north of the Raritan River, it changes.
Yeah.
And actually, in New Jersey, just a comment: when you get outside the cities, New Jersey, even though it's a blue state, when you get outside the cities, it's very red,
Yeah,
very very red,
that's
and
true.
that's what we deal with down here.
That's true. Because
Yeah,
there's a lot of farmland, but it's not the kind of farmland where you would think that there's like a poor Dust Bowl family like trying to make it on, a carrot and a shoestring. Like that's not exactly the farms that are run out here. The farms that are run out here are the big farms that have several locations and they have several like migrant workers working for
yeah.
them. And
Corporate,
yeah, I mean
corporate,
that
corporate
we're
farms.
talking corporate farms.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah,
noticing also
absolutely.
because I work over in Pennington, and I drive across the state, and where there used to be lots and lots of farmland, like cow corn growing all over the place, you're seeing a lot of those fields disappear and townhouses going up.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, which is, as far as I'm concerned, a problem here in New Jersey.
yeah. Yeah,
Overdevelopment
it is.
is very, very bad. And when I get north, because I lived up in Bergen County for a period of time, and I hate to say it, but when you get really north in New Jersey, to me, it's like a laboratory experiment where they put too many rats in a cage.
Mm,
Okay. Drive around in Bergen County, and in a lot of places, you're taking your life in your hand.
mm.
But they haven't learned the lesson, and they're doing the same thing down here. They're doing the same thing. And the reason they're doing the same thing down here is because developers get money.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
got to change too. That's got to change too.
absolutely.
So,
And a lot of the areas that you're talking about are areas that people are attempting to gentrify,
yeah.
right? They're
Yeah.
they're areas where people would be buying a second or third apartment. These are
Yeah.
not areas where people would be living, for necessity.
Jersey City, Newark, all of those
Hmm.
towns, and people
Absolutely.
and the people who are there are being pushed out, which is
Hmm.
another inhumane thing to do. If you think about it, they've lived there for who knows how long, and now all of a sudden, oh no, no, we want to fix this up. You got to get the heck out. So
Absolutely.
it's crazy. Human beings should come first.
Yeah. It's almost funny. Like it's almost funny when I hear something like that, and then I think about the realities of the world, and I think to myself, like, wow, that's something that people say that they want to be true, but just like never kind of is.
Well, along the same lines, okay, we spend, if not a trillion, really close to $1 trillion on our military budget. Okay. And I go to DC and I talk to people in Congress about funding cancer programs, and we're asking for, you know, a million, 2 million, 10 million, whatever. If you took half of that military budget, is it possible we might find a cure for cancer? Think about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
instead of killing people, we could make people well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100 times over. We could not only cure cancer, we could actually give people health care. We could actually
Yes.
give people access to local hospitals, right? Oh my goodness.
Single payer. Single payer. And well, I got to get off my soapbox. I'll step back down off
You're
that.
here to get on a soapbox.
All right, I'm
Soapbox.
getting back up on the soapbox. Single payer healthcare, folks. Okay, people in New Jersey complain about their property taxes, right? People complain, "Oh, my property taxes are horrible." Well, if you had single payer healthcare, because I know in my town, their biggest excuse every time they raise the taxes is, "Oh, it costs more for healthcare for our employees." Well, you know what? With single payer healthcare, your municipality is no longer paying for their healthcare. Okay, so your property taxes could go down, and all those small businesses that are struggling because they have to pay health excuse me, healthcare costs for their employees, they no longer have to do that, so they could hire more employees. It's just a simple thing, but if they throw the word socialism, okay, well, good luck with that. Single payer healthcare just makes way too much sense, and it needs to be supported by every single person in Congress. It needs to go through.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. 100%. Alex Casper has another question, which I
That's
think
my
is
friend Alex in
important.
Philadelphia, or Pennsylvania, I should say. He's not in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Is he serious this time? Should I read it and tell you?
Yeah, let's see what it says.
Let's see. Can I highlight it? There we go. How will you help address unemployment in your region? Finland and AC
Finland
have
and
some of the
AC.
highest unemployment in the country.
Yep. And actually, as I mentioned,
Wow.
you go with single payer healthcare. Okay. And that allows these small businesses, instead of spending their money on paying for health insurance for a limited number of employees, they could take that money and hire more employees. And small businesses, they need workers. It helps them expand their business. It helps them attract more people to their business. To me, single payer healthcare is a cure for many ills that we have here in the state. So that would be a big way of doing it. You know, actually,
Absolutely.
also minimum wage, increasing the minimum wage, and people saying $15 is a livable minimum wage. I'm sorry, I don't know how many people could actually, with rents the way they are in New Jersey, I don't know how many people could make $15 an hour and afford to pay 12, 13, $1,500 a month for a one bedroom or a studio apartment. It's
Yeah.
absolutely, things are upside down.
Yeah.
Things are upside down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I've had that experience. I lived on $15 an hour, and that was 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was unlivable then.
Yeah.
I mean, I really needed $20 an hour, and then I needed $25 an hour. And now I think it's up to 30.
And in the Green Party, we put forward that a roof over your head, food on the table, and medical care are human rights, and everyone should have it. There shouldn't be no homeless people in this country whatsoever. There should be no one that's homeless, and if they choose to, but you still have to give them the option that they could have a roof over their head, food on their table, etc. And I said etc. again, so I'm going to get yelled at.
A shame. No, it's okay. We'll forgive
I see Ben
you.
Taylor's name.
Yes, I just wanted to give him a shout out because
He's one
Ariel's
of our great
mentioned him earlier.
candidates.
So he is our one of our Green 13, a
Yep.
good friend.
Yes.
And yeah, so yeah, let's talk about uh a Green New Deal also on this subject, right? I mean, that would be an excellent place to give people jobs. I mean,
Absolutely.
we are in desperate need of having renewable energy, right? We definitely need workers to be doing that. We definitely need.
Manufacturing. It's manufacturing
Yeah,
jobs. All our manufacturing
absolutely.
jobs have gone by years ago when I was
Construction
a kid.
jobs, installation jobs,
Yeah.
and even jobs where people are, doing database work, that are, doing the computer end behind things,
Mhm.
doing even the administration work.
Yeah.
Like that kind of work is important to have too. That there are a lot of jobs in that area.
I can
That
tell you, I'm a
are
database
disappearing.
administrator. I've been in IT for, oh my God, 45 years. Longer than you've been alive, right? And I look out there, I keep my eyes open, and there are jobs out there. We need to be able to get the people trained in those fields, because I'll give you an example of myself. I work on an old database system, they call it old, that was put out by IBM years ago, called DB2. Well, most of the people who take care of the databases, I'm a database administrator, are my age or older, and we're retiring, and they need people to come in and learn the stuff and get in there and do the work. And people need to get the training. If they have an interest in working in the field, they need to get the training and get in there, because this stuff isn't going to go away. It's just going to be more and more. Okay. There's going to be more and more. And we'd like to keep it, okay, where people make decent salaries working, and you can have a roof over your head and food on the table if you're a database administrator, for sure. And we need to get the people trained, and that's something that needs to be pushed harder than it is now. People need the training. Yep.
Absolutely great. So not to change the subject, but I'm gonna change the subject.
That's fine.
Um, okay. Well, so tell me a little bit more about tell me about the Green Party in general and how it functions kind of differently than the Democrats and how, it sort of allows for a democratic, all hands on deck kind of approach.
Well, the Democratic Party has seen in the past those who were Bernie Sanders supporters. The call is made up at the top, and then everybody falls in line. Not they don't, what's the word, march in bootstep as closely as the Republican Party does, but they march, okay, at the example of Bernie Sanders, okay, and what went on, the nonsense that went on in 16. The Green Party is not that way. Everything is above board. I'll tell, here in New Jersey, everything is above board. We follow tight standards as far as candidates and who gets nominated, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm saying et cetera again. Thank you. But let's put it this way: to the best of my knowledge, there's no political bosses in the Green Party. Okay, and I can speak firsthand experience here in New Jersey. This is political boss heaven here in New Jersey, because you got a small group of people who think that they own the state and they call the shots, and that has to be ended also. That has to be ended also. It's not a democracy when a political boss, someone who's never been elected, calls the shots as to who the candidates are going to be. And I could tell you here in Ocean County, hopefully I don't get in trouble, but there was a political boss here who was indicted for tax evasion, convicted of tax evasion, and pardoned by the former president on his last day in office.
Oh.
And he got his job back as the chairman of that particular party by 4 votes. And now anyone who didn't support him, any elected official who didn't support him to come back into that position, is being lopped off and not being renewed as a candidate for office, which is absolutely one of the most sickening things that can possibly be. I ran for the assembly in New Jersey in Legislative District 9 last year because I visit with those people as part of ACS CAN, and the assemblywoman in my district was always very nice with us. Our political outlook was very different, but she was always very nice and accommodating, and et cetera. Well, she was one of the people who did not vote in support of that political boss being back in, and she got cut off. And I said, well, you know what? Hell with this. I'm running, and I'm going to make it known why I'm running. And that's why I ran in for assembly last year. And I got 1,000 votes. So that was my goal. At least 1,000. At least 1,000. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. But the whole political boss thing and so, it has to be that way. No, that's nonsense. That's not what democracy is about. Political bosses is not part of democracy. So
no, absolutely. Yeah. And the game of political bosses is like, who can strong arm who, right?
Yep.
Who can make it to the top of the hill, right? Who's going to be king, right? So that means that they respond to power. That means that they respond to people pushing back, so that's what we can do if we band together.
Absolutely. Like I said, I think the door's open this year. I think so too. We got it. We got to do it this year.
We've got to. I mean, there's no other choice. We're heading for the end of the road, y'all.
Yes, I hate to be graphic, but the bowl is swirling and we're going down. We got to stop the swirl. We got to stop the swirl.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like Palestine is first in the spot.
Yeah.
In the spot.
Yeah. So, and then you got all the sanctions against all the countries where if they don't toe the line and do exactly what is wanted by the regime here in the United States, they get sanctions and their people suffer because of it. And then they say, oh, look how the people are suffering. Well, you're the ones causing the suffering, folks. Yeah, it's craziness. It's craziness.
You're absolutely right. Yep. Absolutely right.
So we're going to fix all that. Vote green.
Absolutely. So, what is like? I don't know what is like the one thing that you really would love to bring change to your district. Like what? Like tell me, like what would be like your major legacy? Like if you were to get this position,
For my
what would you
district,
want to do? Yeah, for your district.
getting people to wake up and saying you don't vote for a letter, you vote for a person, folks. And the
Yeah.
people who you're voting for aren't looking out in your behalf. That's important because they're really not. They're looking out for their donors and et cetera. And the bosses that tell them what to do. I know there was a congressman, a Republican congressman in my district who wasn't towing the line, and they came to him and they threatened him with various things, and he didn't run for reelection. And the dude was big. He was a big dude. So he could have taken care of himself, but he said, "No, I'm not going to put up with this nonsense," and he didn't run for reelection. Yeah, yeah.
When the people speak, thou must listen.
So
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, is there anything else that you'd like to add, or any topics that we haven't gotten to yet, or
I think I covered a lot of stuff.
okay.
The one, well, how much the fossil fuel industry, how much control they have over everything, because when they raise their prices, the price of everything goes up. So, for argument's sake, if there's someone in office who's a president and they're not happy with that particular person, raise your prices, the economy goes in the toilet, and the person gets voted out. That's way too much power. That's way too
Mhm.
much power. Along the same lines as the military industrial complex, who, as far as I'm concerned, has run the country for an extremely long period of time. And I'll go back to 1963. If you know what I'm talking about, you weren't around then, but there was a president assassinated, and I think it had a lot to do with that.
Mhm.
So we need to bring the country back to the people and have the people call the shots instead of the fossil fuel industry, the multinational corporations and the military industrial complex. It's supposed to be about the people, and the people are suffering as a result of this, and we have to stop the suffering.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Well said.
Thank
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, if there's any final thoughts, I guess we can wrap up. Unless you want to talk a little bit more.
you. No, I'm done. Just my last words are vote Green 13, because every single one of them are wonderful candidates. We got to get our friend in Congressional District 12, which is the only one that's pending right now. Every other congressional district in the state of New Jersey has a Green candidate. Please, if you can help them get signatures on their petition so they can get on the ballot to run for Congress. You need 100 signatures, but we're going to go for 150 to 200 because we get challenged quite often, and especially this year we'll be challenged. And for our Senate candidate, for Christina, she needs 800. We need 1,600 to 2,000 for her. Please, please, if you have any interest in the Green Party, we need those signatures. We need to get the Green 13 on the ballot. We have till primary day, 4 p.m., to get our ballots in with all the signatures, and we need help. And if you can help us, please, please jump on board. And that's my final word.
Absolutely. And what day is that? What's our deadline? May
Well,
31st or
I'm aiming for May 31st.
okay.
If people are
May
still
31st.
collecting and we still have more to do, it's actually primary day, which is June 4th at 4 p.m. We have to have them into the Division of Elections at that time. I'm going to be making a reservation for the 31st to be in the office, and we'll get whoever is done at that time. We'll get them all in. Hopefully, we have all of the Green 13 ready to go on May 31st.
Awesome.
That's the
Yes,
goal.
absolutely. So everybody go check out Barry. I got your website up here on the screen. Everybody check him out. I believe your social medias are also listed on the website.
And I'm going to thank my
Definitely.
friend, my friend who tells me I say etc. too much, for helping me with all of that, because I would be nowhere without his help. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Ariel Cyprian. You are amazing, and you've been doing amazing work for the Green Party,
Yes,
and we
yes.
love you. Can we talk? Oh wait, what? I have a book. Why I went to prison? You
Oh,
talk about the book. Why
he
was
wants a
pregnant?
copy of the book. Oh, you guys. Oh God. It talks about the corruption here in New Jersey. I had a friend who bought property down here in Ocean County, and those in power were interested in her property, and they offered her money for it like pennies on the dollar, and she refused to sell it to them. And what happened is she couldn't sell the property. Um, well, actually, she couldn't use the property. They made it impossible for her to do anything with the property. And she tried to sell it, and it wasn't selling. And one of the realtors came to her and said, "Did you know that the mayor and other elected officials were turning people away from your property?" So she hired a private detective who was wired, and we got recordings of these people talking how they were extorting money from them, etc. I said etc. again, doing various really horrible things to them, taking money to do improvements that were helping people who were on the planning board and various boards here in New Jersey. And um, this all got recorded. I have it on a fob that I carry with me in case it's needed. But what happened to her is um, the mayor of that town who was extorting money from her was, when Chris Christie did his sting when he was the federal prosecutor,
Mhm.
that person was the only Republican to go down. Everyone else was Democrats that went down in that sting. Okay.
Oh
The
man.
day he went to jail, they came knocking on her door and they charged her with bankruptcy fraud because she had to declare bankruptcy. She couldn't do anything with the property. And they said
Right.
that she valued when she got the mortgages, the property value said one thing, and when she declared bankruptcy, it had a lower number. Well, what actually really happened is property values went down.
Mhm.
But she was talked into by her attorney to plead guilty, and she'd get 6 months wearing a bracelet at home. And what happened at sentencing is the judge sentenced her to 2 years in federal prison in
No.
Danbury, Connecticut. She spent 2 years in federal prison.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 2 years. Her daughter was still in high
Jeez.
school. Her son was in college. This is the kind of sick
Oh.
things that go on in the state of New Jersey. But the book is Why I Went to Prison Living in a Chris Christie's New Jersey by Marjorie Paris. You can get it on Amazon if you want it. I promised my friend Ariel a copy. I'm going to get it off Amazon and give one to him. It's circulating in my town because people are interested in it now for some reason. But it's a very, very sick story. They reached the point where they moved out of state, and because they were continuing to be harassed even after she got out of prison.
Wow.
Welcome to New
That's
Jersey.
absolutely crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. Welcome to Jersey. Oh my goodness.
But
That
yeah,
definitely puts
who
the
asked
rebel
that question? Who
down.
asked the question about the book?
Ariel did.
Oh, okay. All right.
Of
All
course he
right.
did.
That's the book. That's the book. And they thanked me actually in the forward in the book. They thanked me for they actually came across me accidentally.
Oh
And,
yeah.
yeah, they were looking for at that point I was the Democratic chair here in Lacey Township. They were looking to talk to the chair in the town where these properties were, and somehow they got a hold of me, and it was totally by accident. But the things that I saw, that's why I said, people say to me, how can you stay in politics? It's so dirty. But the things I've seen and experienced, I can't walk away because I've seen these things and it's just so wrong. And as long as I'm breathing in and out, I'll continue doing what I'm doing. That's the deal. So
That's amazing. Good
yeah,
for you. We need more people like you. Absolutely. We need more people in the Green 13. We need more people like
absolutely. Well,
you.
all those people in the Green
Absolutely.
13 are like me. That's who they are. That's who they
Absolutely.
are. Yep. I
Yes,
thank you. I thank
absolutely.
you for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a great conversation. Hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Yep. You got it.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Take a look at berryforjersey.com. Take a look at my website, which I hope I listed somewhere because it's not mansplain.com yet, but it will be again soon. And please donate. Oh, yeah, I listed it here. Donate to my PayPal if you can to help me get my website back.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night. Take
Thanks,
care.
Bess. Have a good night. Take care, everybody.